Hello to our listeners of What a Hell of a Way to Dad. This is an ad for the podcast you're listening to, and it is the only ad for the podcast that you're listening to that you will hear on this show. We have a little something called Patreon. Patreon.com/hellofaWayToDie. It is linked down below. The deal is you give us $5 a month and we give you bonus content every month, every week, as much as we can. It will also give you access to 8 years of our bonus content back catalog. But beyond just extra episodes, you'll also get exclusive video content, discounts in the store, the ability to vote on future Zoo Crew episodes, and access to the Discord that we share with Lions Led by Donkey. You can also check out the store at whatahellofawaytodad.com. There you'll find patches, stickers, pins, handmade items, and whatever things I find at a secondhand store that interest me. We appreciate your patronage in whatever way that you can give it to us, as well as your feedback. If there's anything that you want to hear on this show, please let us know. Sergeant Joker at hellofawaytodie.com. Once again, that's patreon.com/hellofawaytodie and whatahellofawaytodad.com. Thank you and enjoy the show.
Someone probably sent it to them or hacked an email account because, yeah, I mean, it is Infowars. The fans are psychos.
Right.
And the haters as well are equally virulent in their hatred to Infowars.
Fair.
So, like, there's a very good chance that nobody had any idea about that. Mostly because it seemed to be an effort to just drown them in shit to search through.
Yeah,
so
because
it's
they
not
did
like
they also did it, and like here's another like legal top tip. Don't then because I want to say like they also they claimed no text messages existed or no emails or whatever existed from Jones.
And they found them on the stand.
and then also like sent them all to the opposing counsel. Just like
accidentally, wasn't it? Like he accidentally cloning the phone, and then they cloned the whole thing. It's like, oh, all that shit that you said you didn't have, we actually have that right here now.
Yeah, and they just like gave it to the other side on accident.
Oh, it's even funnier because his lawyer was a former federal prosecutor under Obama.
Of course.
And I want to say, since he straight up lied to the judge and the other attorneys, he's like under investigation by the Bar Association for doing that.
Yeah, you don't let
that is in fact against the law. Regardless of what you see on TV shows, you can't do that.
Yeah, then he sent all of the text messages to opposing counsel, and opposing counsel confronted Jones with it on the stand after getting him to perjure himself.
Yeah,
honestly, it's a master class of watching a fucking idiot just sink.
And it is one of those things too, like so rarely like practicing law do you just get to like just absolutely just like dissect someone, and like just on the stand, just to like watch them just like, just fall into an Acme style trap. And like, I feel like that must have been satisfying.
Yeah. Mark Bankston was the attorney, if I'm remembering his name correctly. He's very entertaining because he fucking hates Alex Jones. Like, I'm sure a lot of lawyers do not hate the people they're in court against, but it's pretty clear that after years of dealing with Infowars bullshit, he wanted to fucking strangle him.
Oh yeah.
And there's other parts where he gets asked questions on the stand, and since he had been defaulted, this is not a question of guilt or innocence. This is a question of assets. And Jones just does the Jones special, which is just vomiting bullshit out for minutes upon minutes at a time, to the point that Bankston has to continuously ask him, like, do you remember what the question was?
So I think my favorite part of the takeover of everything that happened yesterday was Alex Jones doing his last stand in the Infowars studio, where he calls Steve Bannon at one point in time live on the air, to which Steve Bannon, as soon as Bannon picks up, he's like, what the fuck is this news story? And then he immediately has to take him off of speakerphone. It's like, hey, Steve, tell these folks. And like, Bannon's just like, what the fuck are you doing, man? What is happening here? Because I think this came out of left field for a lot of people.
Well, they also used to be friends.
Yeah.
And the thing is Jones doesn't realize where he stands in the world that he exists in.
He's a tool, not just a tool derogatory, but a tool for these other people. And as soon as that tool is no longer broken, it's going to get thrown in the dumpster.
Yeah. I mean, he's a pawn who thinks he's a bishop.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. It's the same reason why Trump did go on Infowars during his first campaign and never did again.
Mm-mm.
And
Roger Stone, that's what Joe Rogan's for now.
Yeah, Roger Stone, famous piece of shit, and lifelong slimy political operative, was a close friend of Alex Jones for the longest time, and definitely leaked him information that was actually coming from the Trump White House. But even Stone really doesn't like to go on Infowars anymore because, you know, Trump's back in power. They all can come back from the fringes into quote unquote polite society. They don't need to hang out with Alex Jones anymore. And they definitely don't need to hang out with him. He doesn't even have fucking Infowars. Because remember, the most importantly is like Alex Jones will continue screaming into the ether on the internet until the day he dies. But Infowars was still on the actual fucking radio in a lot of places, and it won't be anymore.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like how like Tucker Carlson managed to entirely sideline himself through this shit. Like we haven't even even over the course past couple of weeks, you really haven't seen him pop up that much because he just like took himself off to be an also ran of Fox to be an also ran on Twitter,
and now talks about being attacked by demons,
and no one actually cares that much.
Yeah, it turns out the power of them is the power of these people come from the ancillary audience, like not their hardcore zealot idiot believers. It's the people who listen to it who aren't completely bought in.
Right.
People who listen to them on the radio.
The people who passively hear it on the radio or see it on Fox because, you know, Tucker Carlson had like a primetime spot on Fox. And
yeah, it had the biggest audience on Fox.
We say this all the time. Deplatforming works. Especially
it absolutely does. I mean, these idiots will continue making content, but their audience is going to shrink to a fucking fraction.
Yeah. That's why we're trying to get Lions Led by Donkeys on CNN.
I mean, the
History
other
Hour
flip side,
with Joe saying fuck all the time and laughing at dead Nazis.
The other possible problem with this is, I mean, we've seen the ghouls that Trump is surrounding himself with in the second administration, which are demonstrably worse every step of the way than they were the first time around. And now Alex Jones is free.
Communications director, let's go.
Weirder thing, I mean,
it's either going to be him or it's going to be Rogan.
RFK Jr. is going to be put forward as a health secretary. Fucking anything is possible.
Oh, did you see yesterday though? And I just saw this like on my way into work that he's already said that the incoming administration said that it's going to cut the $70,000 or $7,000 like EV incentive that gets paid out for purchase of new electric vehicles because that's some woke garbage.
Because it's woke.
Which is to say, I'm looking forward to like a real another 4 years of like some real like late Soviet machinations among the court as like Musk loses his shit and then just like recriminations follow down.
This has no other way of ending. You can't have, even if you're a complete psychotic lunatic, like dementia brain, gravy skull having idiot like fucking Donald Trump is, like, if you fill your administration with people like that, they all fucking hate one another.
Look, I think you know who had the good idea here to have a crazy person in your cabinet, but somebody who wouldn't hate you. The guy who made a horse a mayor in the Roman Empire. If Trump has
senator,
even better.
Was that Caligula?
Probably.
So.
He also, he played the fiddle and. According to the 1970s movie, had a huge orgy, I believe.
I mean, that was just all Romans.
The play the fiddle while Rome burned thing is almost certainly not true. But like,
this is why you don't get a fucking history guy on your podcast.
Yeah, I got to bring everybody down a peg. But like, there's the thing is, we're gonna see. Like, remember how, I know it seems like fucking forever ago in 2016, there was like a new leak coming out of the Trump White House every 15 minutes. Because it was all the assholes who hate one another trying to sink one another. We're going to get that every 10 seconds this time around.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was.
I hope. We're waiting for the Gates, the Matt Gates dossier to hit. There's like 500 pages of it. And they're like, well, we're not going to release it. It's like, man, you know too many journalists. Fucking drop that shit. Let us know about Chester the Molester here with the big fucking head.
The fucking journalists themselves who like prop themselves up as this like shining beacon of fucking literacy and democracy can go fuck themselves too. Because I mean, if you look at the headlines leading up to the election, which Trump was clearly always going to win, when you look at the numbers, but they were giving him the most baby shit soft handling on earth, with the exception of a few of them.
Yeah.
So they're going to be the good little sycophants. They don't piss off the fucking White House press office, just like they always have been, and they're not going to rock the boat. But what's really going to be interesting is the Republican Civil War when it comes to the fucking confirmation hearings. Because, I mean, they have the House and the Senate.
Well, all they really need is the Senate. I mean, that's, for that part.
Well, we'll see, because Trump keeps pulling people out of the House and Senate for his cabinet, and it keeps like fucking up the numbers of how much they get to run. I think even Matt with John, whoever the speaker is, Johnson, is just like, you got to stop, man. Like, we don't own this by that much, and you keep taking people away that can vote for us.
Those replacements will be appointed, and most certainly will be Trumpists, but like the normal people, even like the people who play MAGA Republican for their base, are probably not going to be super happy about like Tulsi Gabbard being involved or RFK Jr. or possibly even Matt, because it's or like Marco Rubio, who like Marco Rubio is a lot like Cruz, where the coworkers will openly talk about how much they fucking hate them as a person.
I don't know. John Fetterman says that he likes Rubio.
Well, John Fetterman's a fucking cunt.